If you deliver quality and stay transparent, they will keep calling you, and over time, they will start advancing you money. I know agents today who get as much as 500 million naira or even 2 to 3 billion naira upfront simply because their buyers trust them. It doesn't happen overnight, but once your name is solid, capital will never be your problem. Hello, today I want to share with you the truth about the sesame seed business in Nigeria. It is one of the most profitable commodities in our agriculture sector, but also is one of the most misunderstood. I have been in this business since 2014. I have lost money. I have made money and have learned lessons that you will not find in textbooks. So, in this video, I will walk you through how the sesame seed business works, how you can start, and the opportunities that exist, all from my own practical experience. When I first entered the business, I had big dreams. My plan was to buy a full container of sesame seeds, which is about 18 tons. But I didn't have enough money, so I thought maybe if I farmed sesame myself, I could still get the volume I needed. Well, man proposes, Nigeria disposes. The workers stole my fertilizers. Even the harvest itself was disappointing. I had to put my guards in the farm, but they also joined in the stealing. Add to that the challenges with herdsmen, and before I knew it, almost everything was gone. Farming sesame seeds as an outsider was a complete nightmare. But that failure turned out to be my biggest lesson because it pushed me into the real business of trading. You see, in sesame seed, farming is best left to the locals who know all the tricks about the farming. For us outsiders, the real opportunity is in trading and supply. At first, I thought sesame seed business was all about buying and exporting, but I soon discovered that you can make money without ever exporting. You can buy from farmers and sell to middlemen, to processors, or to exporters. That was my first real breakthrough. Of course, the markets have their own tricks. One of the earliest lessons I learned was never to fully trust the weighing scales in the market. You carry 10 kilos to a dealer. By the time they weigh it, it suddenly becomes 8 kilograms. At first, I thought it was pure cheating, but later I understood farmers often add sand and stones to increase the weight. So the buyers adjust their scales to compensate for the admixture. That's why you must understand quality. A good sesame grade at farm gate should not have more than 7 to 8% admixture. For export, buyers want 97 to 99% clean sesame seeds. That's the difference in quality. That difference in quality is where the serious money is made. Now, let's talk about how anyone can enter this business. Suppose you have little capital. You don't need to start with export. You can go to a sesame seed company or warehouse and ask to supply them. At first, they won't advance you money, but once you know their buying price, for example, 1,000 naira per kilogram, you can go into the market and try to buy at 800 or 900 naira per kilogram and then supply to them. Now, your margin may be small in the beginning, but the real key is building trust. Trust is money in this business. If you deliver quality and stay transparent, they will keep calling you, and over time, they will start advancing you money. I know agents today who get as much as 500 million naira or even 2 to 3 billion naira upfront simply because their buyers trust them. It doesn't happen overnight, but once your name is solid, capital will never be your problem. If you want to play in the big league, then you must look at export. But let me be honest, export is capital intensive. One container of sesame seeds is about 18 tons. But to really make sense economically, I recommend starting with at least 5 containers. That's 90 tons. The reason is because most trucks from the farms carry 30 tons when supplying to Lagos ports for shipping. 3 trucks give you a full load of 90 tons, which fits exactly into 5 containers. The bigger your volume, the lower your cost per kilogram, and the better your profit margin. But export is not without risk. International prices are not controlled by Nigeria. They depend on the harvest in India, Turkey, China, and other regions. If India has a very good harvest, for example, prices in Nigeria can crash overnight. That is why storing sesame for long periods is risky. It's 50-50. And then there are the technical parts. You must pay attention to moisture content, especially when buying early in the season. Sesame seeds bought in October often have high moisture content because of rain. You must also make sure warehouses, especially in Lagos, are well ventilated. Otherwise, humidity will damage your stock. For exports, buyers will request certifications like phytosanitary certificates and independent lab tests from SGS or Bureau Veritas to confirm oil content, moisture level, and sesame purity. And please, never send goods abroad purely on trust. Too many Nigerians have lost entire containers that way. Payment terms must be clear and secure. Now, let's talk about quality and processing. Most local processors in Nigeria use double air screen cleaning machines that can only produce sesame with about 97% purity. That is acceptable for the local market, but international buyers pay a premium for higher quality. That is why I recently invested in a Julite Highline sesame seed cleaning machine from China. This machine combines air screen cleaning, gravity separation, and vibration grading all in one, which gives you up to 99% purity. This is far better than the standard double air screen machines you find in Nasarawa, which usually only delivers about 97% purity, like I mentioned earlier. That small difference in percentage is the difference between being priced average and being priced premium in the international market. My goal has always been to raise the standard of what comes out of Nasarawa, and with this machine, I believe we can finally compete at the very top. So whether you are starting small with supply to warehouses or you are aiming for export, the most important thing is to start with knowledge and build trust. Sesame seed is not like egusi where you can buy and hold for sure profit. It's a high volume, capital heavy game. But at every level, from the small supplier to the big exporter, there is money to be made if you play it right. As for me, after years in this business, from farming to trading to processing, I can say this: it is not easy. It's not always stable, but it can change your financial story. And for those with capacity or interest, there are always ways to learn, to partner, and to grow in this industry. The sesame seed season is starting soon. If you are planning to buy in October, be careful of high moisture content. If you are starting small, focus on supply and building relationships. If you are aiming for export, go big enough to reduce your costs and always secure your payments. And above all, remember, your honesty, your transparency, and your network are your greatest asset. Thank you for watching. If you found this video useful, please like, share, and subscribe. Drop your comments and questions. I will always try to respond. Until next time, stay sharp, stay honest, and remember, agriculture is wealth.